What am I doing with my life? This is what I get for listening to a friend. The Ridiculous Six is another paycheck for Adam Sandler and his friends who continue to degrade like a murder victim's body in a tub of acid. Set in the Wild West, the name is a play on the Magnificent Seven. However, unlike The Hateful Eight, this film doesn't have an ounce of wit behind it, and the one scene that feels competent I'm sure was stolen or paid for. More on that later. In this mushroom print to the face, Adam Sandler plays Tommy White Knife Stockburn. He is the son of a criminal who was raised by Indians and has the ability to mumble incoherently, allowing him to do things that make absolutely no sense. Everything from transform into a tumbleweed to sneak past guards, to defeating multiple enemies with his bare hands in a flash. So basically, he's a Gary Stu in the same vein as Ray. His father, played by the walking corpse of Nick Nolte, is taken hostage by his own gang. Now Sandler must try to acquire $50,000 to save his dad, and along the way he meets his half-brothers from other mothers. Adam Sandler looks like he just could not give a fuck anymore. After the 90s, his career crashed harder than the stock market and he never recovered. Although, to be fair, I have heard great things about Uncut Gems. This doesn't change the fact that he looks more drained than Bill Clinton after 45 years of marriage. The whole time he's doing his best gravelly Steven Seagal impression that's more inconsistent than Wanda's accent in Age of Ultron. This brings up the question of how are there so many other stars in this film? How many zeros were on the checks? There are more stars in this film than the Milky Way, and they're all worth less than one-ply toilet paper. Roy Schneider is walking around with more spray tan than Donald Trump. He's accompanied by a donkey with explosive diarrhea because whenever the film remembers there was supposed to be a joke, the donkey just erupts like Yellowstone was filled with Nutella. Taylor Lautner isn't doing anything with his life, so he portrays himself in this film, and since he couldn't lay pipe with Bella, he decides to get head from a donkey. Yeah, he has sunk that low, and no, I am not kidding when I say that scene occurs. Why the fuck is Terry Crews in this? Did Sandler save him from a tire fire? He doesn't do anything but make everyone around him look small, and he isn't yelling at me while trying to sell Old Spice. The only thing of note he accomplishes is hooking up with Whitney Cummings off screen. You want the reasons to see this film without having to endure this movie like a Somalian pirate being forced to listen to K-pop? Sure thing, here you go. 1, 2. Now you don't have to wait an hour and a half losing brain cells while contemplating suicide. Now, to be fair, there is one scene that does come close to being funny, but still misses the mark like a cross-eyed assassin aiming for a target in the park. John Turturro portrays Abner Doubleday perfecting the first game of baseball. The whole skit is actually thought through to a degree, which engaged my brain enough to pull me out of my drooling stupor. This scene goes on to mock the rules of baseball being nonsensical and feeling made up, which reflects my own arguments because I think baseball is the worst sport ever made. Fight me. Doesn't help this scene is at such odds with the flow and pace of the film, it feels like you're trying to force a cow through a dog door. It goes on for 10 minutes, but if only it was refined just that little bit more, maybe I wouldn't have wanted to eat my own skin to stimulate my brain. There are only so many ways you can say something isn't funny, but this movie just isn't in the slightest. The Ridiculous Six is fucking terrible. I haven't gazed in awe at something so unable to crack even a smile from me since the Ghostbusters remake. And I'm as easy a lay for comedy as a Catholic rabbit is in Heat, but this still didn't get me going. While the baseball skit comes close, none of the jokes in the film land, and I think I would rather be a dentist for a tyrannosaur going through meat withdrawals than sit through another Adam Sandler comedy. Now excuse me, while I go and get rid of the friend that suggested I watch this crap. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please like, share, and subscribe for more weekly reviews, and I'll see you next week.